grief, when it has no place to go, destroys what it can reach. Welcome to the Prytan Podcast, a daily practice in living well and flourishing, guided by archetypal psychology and eternal virtues through the lens of the ancient Greek world. Each episode, we listen to a myth or other story and discuss what it means for you, the listener. Today, we're exploring Apollo's killing of the Cyclopes, the shadow archetype of grief become destruction, and the virtue of Praotes, right anger, as the virtue violated and then learned from. The myth. Apollo's mortal son Asclepius pressed past the boundary that his gift of healing should not cross. He raised the dead. He took payment for it from the gods of the underworld. Zeus, who could not allow the natural order to be undone, struck him with a thunderbolt. Apollo lost his son. He could not strike Zeus. Zeus was his father, the lord of Olympus, the one whose authority governed all the cosmos. Apollo's grief had no direct object it could reach, so it went in a different direction. He killed the Cyclopes, the forge masters of Olympus, the ones who had made the thunderbolt that killed Asclepius. Apollodorus records the punishment. Zeus would have sent Apollo to the lowest pits of Tartarus for this, but Leto, Apollo's mother, intervened. Instead, Zeus sent him to serve King Admetus as a mortal cowherd for 1 year. We visited that year of service 2 episodes ago. Now we know what preceded it, this act of displaced rage, this killing of the Cyclopes in the place of the god Apollo could not touch. The archetype and virtue. It is said that the Apollonic archetype, when overwhelmed, does not collapse inward. It strikes outward. The ordering mind that has built its identity on clarity and mastery, when it faces something that neither clarity nor mastery can address, does not grieve quietly. It reaches for what it can destroy. The Cyclopes are not the right target for Apollo's grief. They made the weapon, but they did not decide to use it. Apollo knows this. He kills them anyway, because Asclepius is dead. Zeus cannot be touched, and the grief has to go somewhere. This is the shadow in its rawest form, the archetype that normally illuminates, turned toward destruction not because destruction serves anything, but because it is the only action left. Apollo grieved before, when Hyacinthus died. Then, the grief became a flower. It became a festival. Something was made from it. Here, nothing is made. The Cyclopes are dead, the forge is empty, and Apollo has to perform a year of service to atone for it. The virtue that names what was absent in this moment is Praotes, right anger, the same virtue that shaped the Marsyas and Admetus myths. Praotes is anger at the right things, toward the right people, in the right amount. Apollo had genuine grounds for grief and genuine grounds for anger at the death of Asclepius. The anger at Zeus was not baseless, but the Cyclopes were not the right target, and killing them was not the right amount. Praotes holds the correct proportion. Apollo, in his grief, lost the proportion entirely. What the year with Admetus taught him was what Praotes demands: to sit with anger and grief without immediately converting them into action, to wait until the right target and the right measure become clear, to do the work that is in front of you rather than destroy what is near. When this virtue is violated, consequences soon follow. And now, today's healing words. Feel free to repeat after me or simply listen and absorb the words. I call on the Apollo within me. The part that has felt grief too large for the available targets. That has aimed its anger sideways, at what was near rather than what was right. Because what was right could not be reached. I do not disavow this part. I hold it with honesty. I call on my own right anger, the anger that can wait, that can sit with what cannot be changed. The anger that does not need to destroy what is reachable in order to feel that it has acted. The anger that knows its proper proportion and its proper direction. Today, I name what I have lost. I do not convert it into something destructive. As we close out this episode, consider doing this project for today. Think of a time when you aimed your anger or grief at the wrong target because the right target was out of reach or could not be confronted. Write one sentence naming what the right target actually was, not to reopen the wound, but to give the grief its accurate address. That's it for today's episode. Tomorrow on the Prytan Podcast, the oracle, the archetype of the rational man and self-knowledge, and the virtue of Praotes, practical wisdom. If you'd like to join our community and support what we do, you can subscribe to us on your platform of choice and follow us on social media. Links are on our website at prytanpodcast.com. That's Prytan podcast.com. In the meantime, live well and flourish.